This video is intended for a mature audience only. If you're a kid, please go away. Hello everybody, Legend for Life here, bringing us a brand new video. Today we got 10 decks buffed by Master Rule Revision, or, well, Master Rule 5. I kind of have to call it Master Rule 5, even though it's not actually Master Rule 5, because that's what everybody's calling it on YouTube, and that's what everybody's going to be looking for on the search algorithm, so yay! Thank you guys. Okay, so, this is not a top 10 per se. I originally was writing it as one, but then I realized that, a lot of decks, you know, a lot of people have already kind of done this, so I wanted to use this to also bring light to some decks that maybe some people aren't thinking of that also get buffed. You know, there are obvious ones on here that people have been talking about quite a bit that I can't wait to gush about because they're some of my favorite decks. So let's just get on with this, with the first one being number 10, Speedride. So I love Speedrides. They're a really fun deck, and they were basically dead under Master Rule 4. Even with their own Link monster, which does help out quite a bit, it didn't fix the deck's issues under Master Rule 4. Now, granted, of course, the deck also has another big issue, and that is that Terror Top is still at 1, and that's where it probably will be for indefinite. Indefinity? I don't know. But yeah. So, unfortunately, the deck isn't at full power under the Master Rule Revision, but, however, it is basically back at its old, playability. And it's even buffed, too, because now on top of, being able to just make as many synchros as they want in a turn, they still have that Link monster that gives them an extra normal summon and also lets them search and dump and stuff. So, it really does boost the deck up quite a bit and keep them up to speed in Master Rule Revision. So it's something that I'm definitely looking forward to playing under the revision, and I can't wait to see what else Konami does for it, with any other synchro support and stuff. Like that new level 9 that was just revealed today, that is pretty bonkers. So yeah, something to consider. Next up, we got another big obvious one, shooting Quasar Dragon deck / Blazar deck / that other Quasar from the manga that I can't remember the name of. Basically anything that focuses on Limit Excel synchro summons, and heck, just actually any kind of synchro summon, to be honest, because now these decks are actually playable again, and I've already seen people playtesting builds that can easily churn out double Quasar, triple Quasar, stuff like that, which is crazy to imagine without freaking Soul Charge being a thing, but there's ways you can kind of do it, so it is something that's pretty cool. The deck also has Junk Speeder, which is just an absurdly powerful synchro to consider whenever it comes to the Master Rule Revision, who can now summon 5 monsters from deck for basically just free, and that's just really awesome. And of course, the big thing is that now you're actually able to play concise boards, and you don't need to rely on links. It's just really great. Also, something that I did not realize until after I had made these slides is that TG Hyper Librarian is at 3. I don't think that's gonna last long, guys. Because it was already put at 3 because, Master Rule kind of hinders it. But now, it's back at full power again, which is going to be very interesting to see what Konami does in regards to that. Moving on, we got Gem Knights. Gem Knights is a big one that I am looking forward to seeing how they're going to shape up with the Master Rule Revision, because now the FTK is much more viable again. It was kind of doable in the past, even with Gem Knight Master Diamond being, limited, but however, it is doable once more because the deck is able to just plop out as many monsters as it wants to with no abandon. Okay, you can summon as many fusions as you want now without any regards to where your Gem Knight Phantom Quartz is pointing, and it just allows for the deck to be able to burn for oodles amounts of damage and possibly swing for game, depending on whether or not they're going first or second, but it really doesn't matter because your opponent's probably not getting another turn. It's really ridiculous with just how insane this deck is under the Master Revision. I've been testing it out myself, and oh boy, they might need to hit Phantom Quartz or something. I hope not. I mean, who knows, maybe I'm just overhyping it, but considering that we don't really have much to go off of in terms of the next 3 months, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Next up, we got good old Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss is another big hyped one because now you can make as many Dantes as you want, mill 9 cards every turn, and not have a care in the world, and it is going to be wonderful. And of course, the deck still has its really great Link monster, But however, you don't need to rely on it anymore. You can now also make your other monsters and, you know, be able to actually make plays and, you know, oh god, what was it called? Fire Lake? Yeah, Fire Lake is, like, playable again. So, like, Burning Abyss under the Master Revision is going to be very interesting to see where the deck goes from here on out. Because it is a deck that people have toyed around with, even with under Master 4's rules and everything, and has, I think, seen some success, at least in Japan, whenever they got Cherubini initially, but hasn't seen much success over here in Master 4. But, however, with the Master Revision, we might see Burning Abyss crop back up again every now and then. Next up, we got Infernity. Infernity is a big one that I want to talk about because this deck is insane. And, you know, it's one of those decks that and just constantly seems to find a way to break whatever's new. And, you know, it did initially break links, too, with being able to do, like, an FTK or something, like, turn 1. I can't remember how the FTK went, other than that it was basically spam triple firewall, and Grand Soil was, like, a big key part of it, or something like that. But, however, with the Master Revision coming out, the deck is able to just be able to go off once more, because now you don't need to rely on your link arrows. You can make links, and you can make synchros. Of course, if you also want to do the Xyz build, you can kind of do that too, although it's kind of hard with Evolve All Chain still being banned. I think he's still banned. I feel like he is. I can't remember now. Holy crap. I feel like he is still banned. But, however, with Emerald being back, the deck is able to be even more effective in what it wants to do. So the deck is going to be something you might want to keep an eye on going into the revision, because it can make just absurd boards very easily. Moving on, we got a deck that actually recently got its Link Monster that makes the deck pretty stupid even under Master Rule 4. We got 6 Samurai. Under, you know, Master Rule 4, the deck is able to do some pretty big shenanigans. And going into Master Rule Revision, the deck is just going to be able to do that even better. Like, it's not going to have to rely on the Link. It's not going to have to do any of that. Now, granted, the Link is still going to be played. Don't get me wrong. Being able to search Gateway is very important. But now they also don't need to rely on other Link monsters and making Beast with Shien and backing that up with like a Boral Load or something, or Boral Sword and other just like big negates and stuff, or just big boss monsters in general. The deck is going to be a terrifying one to deal with, especially if we go the way of seeing Gateway come back any farther than 1. Hopefully that's not the case. I've heard rumors that like it might come back, although granted those are just fan speculations, let's be honest, but still going to be very interesting to see where it goes. Next up, I wanted to put Shiranui here, but I realized I should just put zombies in general. Shiranui and these zombie spam decks. These decks are going to get even better under Master Rule 4 because, of course, they are synchro focused and they are also, of course, negate focused. So you're able to really just go off and make big boards of impressive monsters and like Omega and good old other things. Shiranui especially is going to be very interesting to see where they go. But zombies with like Balderrock and that new pumpkin thing coming out in the next set, along with, of course, being able to just make other big scary monsters, it's going to be interesting to see where zombies go in terms of this, with being able to just do whatever they want in terms of spamming. Next up, we got Cara Curry. This is a big one, because Cara Curry was one of the biggest decks killed by Master Rule 4. The deck is all about synchro spam. You really want to just be able to summon out those berets and burritos, or whatever they're called, the burritos, out onto the field to spam out more monsters from deck, and draw a bunch of cards, make a bunch of synchro, swing for big damage. And, of course, with the new support coming out in the next set, coupled with the Master Revision, fixing the issues of Master Rule 4, and the fact that the deck never got a Link monster, yeah, it's gonna be this deck is gonna be absurd under Master Rule 4. I don't think it's gonna be anything meta relevant, but it's definitely gonna be at least playable once more, and it's gonna be very fun to see what Konami does with it going forward and what the player base does, because of course you're not locked into Cara Curry's, and so since you got 7s and 8s, you can make some pretty big synchro plays and then turn those synchros into Xyz or Links and so on and so forth. Make some big boards and make some big negates if your FTK fails, so it's going to be interesting. Next up, we got Fluffles. Oh god, Fluffles. Okay, so this deck, for some reason, still does not got a link, and it is still a big fan favorite. You know, it's a fusion focused archetype, and they really want to just be able to summon as many fusions as they can, which they are now able to do once more. And so, yeah, they are able to fuse and spam once again, make Fluffles great again. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait. I'm going to kill with cuteness and also scare with Freddy Fazbear's wonderful scissors. So, yeah. I can't wait to play around with this. It also kind of sucks, too, because like the deck never got any like really optimal links for the deck. I mean, Cloth Sheep is a really good one, but it's not coming out till much later. So, yeah. Moving on, let's got some honorable mentions. First and foremost, I got Heroes. Heroes is a really big one. Granted, though, they are able to play perfectly fine under Master Rule under Master Rule 4, and they have several links, a couple of which are pretty good. And, you know, it's just Heroes. They're going to keep getting more support. Even under Master Rule 4, they were just perfectly fine. Cyber Dragon is another deck that's going to be pretty buffed up, too, with Master Rule Revision. Not as much as some other decks and stuff, though, so it's not something that I would really say is noteworthy. They also got kind of like hurt a little bit because Chimera Tech Mega Fleet is no longer as good because your opponent does not have to use the extra Monster Zone, which means you can't just link away, fusion away with by summoning a Cyber Dragon and using their monster. The Rocket deck is a big one that I am really kind of not sure if they really do benefit or not from, but people keep telling me they do. Rockets are, of course, a deck made for Master Rule 4 and made to play around in Master Rule 4. But, however, with Master Revision, they are able to summon their Fusion, their Synchro, so on and so forth, without having to waste their extra their extra Monster Zones, so that is something to keep in mind. The Sun and Moon Dragon deck. This is a big one for me, but I couldn't justify putting it on the main list because the deck is still not really particularly great. That being said, one of the biggest issues with the deck in Master Rule 4 is that you are not able to get out both dragons, okay? And so, due to that, you can't make full use of the newest support wave, okay? So, if you guys don't know, Sun and Moon Dragon, their archetype of Fire Ant Scatter and stuff like that, got some more support with these Oracle cards that can discard a card, special summon themselves, and a respective tuner from the deck, so that you can instantly make the Sun or Moon Dragon. The issue is that they lock you into Synchros only for the rest of the turn, in terms of summoning from your extra X. So, you couldn't make any links first, and heck, if I remember right, it says during the turn you activate the effect, so you can't even make a link beforehand, so you can't summon both dragons, and it just sucks. So, being able to summon both dragons, once again, is really good. Of course, however, the dragons you're summoning aren't particularly great either. So, the Sun and Moon Dragon deck, as fun as it is, that it's going to be playable once more, especially with the new support, it's not good enough to really warrant being on the list right now. Hopefully they get some more support in the future, but I kind of doubt it. Moving on, we got number 1 and my most favorite, DDD. Oh boy, I am so ecstatic for this one. DDD is a deck that's all focused on just being able to do everything. Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Link, Pendulum, everything but Ritual, because screw Rituals. They aren't cool enough to be into DDDs. That being said, the deck had a tough time under Master Rule 4. They did eventually get a link in one of the Link Friends pack, but however, this link also locked you into only being able to summon DDDs for the rest of the turn, which really sucks because DDDs shine best when they are making use of outside support like Titanic Galaxy, Omega, so on and so forth. And also, because of their weirdness being a Pendulum deck that's not all Pendulum decks, they really don't have a lot of really good optimal links for them to make use of. Of course, good old Electromite is really good, but however, with how few Pendulums the deck actually plays, he wasn't really that great in the deck, to be completely honest. Not to mention that you don't really summon your Pendulums too much other than Kepler and Copernicus, but however those two don't really get used too much. And whenever you want to summon Ragnarok with good old Thomas, you typically want to make a rank 8, not Electromite, and that's typically more at the end of your combo. And basically what I'm saying is it's not completely optimal. And then the Archfiend Link is not particularly great either, so really the deck never had a particularly really good optimal link for them to use, except Needle Fiber, and he's not coming out till the tail end of Master Roll Revision, Master Roll 4, so yeah, the deck still doesn't really have a great optimal one to really be able to make use of. And so, going into Master Roll Revision, the deck is going to be playable once again in its original intention, and it's going to be even better, because if you take into effect that, like, with the link is going to be helpful, but however, even disregarding the link, the deck is going to be so much better, because now you got 6 zones that you can use, and you can do whatever the hell you want with in the deck. You can make your Xyz, you can make your Synchros, you can make your Fusions, you can make whatever you want, and not have to worry about not being able to summon more stuff. So it's just going to be really, really great, and I can't wait to see what everybody's going to do with DDDs moving forward. So that is my list of 10 decks to consider going into Master Rule Revision or Master Rule 5, whatever you want to call it. I've just been calling it Master Rule Revision because it's not a Master Rule 5, technically speaking, but I digress. So, what do you guys think? Are there dozens? I mean, I'm sure, I know for a fact there's a ton of other decks that I could talk about. I wanted to purposely leave out the meta decks because, for one thing, we are going to have, two ban lists between now and then, and we don't know how badly the big meta decks are going to get hit, so I wanted to leave them off of here and give time to shine for some other decks, and I also wanted to kind of try and avoid some big obvious ones other than the 2 big obvious ones that I would say, which is of course DDD and Synchron. So what do you guys think? Are there any decks that you're excited for to play under Master Roll Revision? Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and see y'all. Thank you all for watching the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and see y'all later.